Oh boy, come here. Could we finally see a new full frame camera announced in the later part of this year? Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up everybody? It is your boy Brandon, and today we are going to talk about some particular rumored event that Sony is supposedly planning in mid to late November. So let's dive into this a little bit further. Now, as you guys know, the latest camera to be announced in the Sony line was the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II, which was announced back in July of this year. As you look at my little chart here. Now, before that, the latest camera I think came out was the A7 III, which was announced back in November of 2023. Now, a lot of you guys, you know I shoot Sony, big Sony content creator, one of the only few on YouTube. I've been shooting Sony for a very, very long time now. If you're not familiar with the timeline, I'm gonna throw it up here for you. So we're gonna go through it just a little bit from some of the latest stuff. Now, I'm not gonna go through the whole timeline and go through cameras that was made back when, but just to kind of give you guys a little idea of what's been going on. So, first of all, I'll tell you the best year that I feel that Sony had. The best year that I think Sony had was in 2021. 2021, they was on fire. Sony launched the A1, which is this camera right here. They launched the FX3, and then they had some upgraded cameras also, like the Sony A7R4 Alpha, the A7R3 Alpha, something like that. That's the year they also announced the ZV-E10, the A7 IV. I mean, they were on fire. It was like 5 or 6 cameras that they was dropping. It was like, oh my God. I think they also did the Venice 2, if I'm not mistaken. But if we move on in 2022, sorry, we got 2 more cameras. We got the A7R5, which is this one right here. And then we got some honorable mention cameras like the FX3, and I think that was it. In 2023, we got the ZV-E1, the A7C2, the A7CR, and the A9 III. Like 2023 was a good year also. But that brings me to 2024. A lot of you guys are out there wondering what is going on with Sony. Sony has been really quiet. It's for real. They've been keeping it hush hush about any type of products coming, any type of new announcements. Like, it hasn't been anything out there right now. Now, you might see other companies like, you know, Nikon and Canon, like they've been making huge amounts of noise. I mean, they've been rolling them out. Like, they announced that the Canon R5 Mark II, the R1, all kind of, they announcing lenses. Like, I think they got like 3 lenses or something coming here soon, and much more. And it's like, why do you think Sony has been quiet pretty much all year round? Or better yet, I'll tell you what about you guys out there? Do you feel that Sony is just moving really slow, or that other companies are just moving really fast? Like, let me know what you think down in the comments. For something like this, I think it's one of those chess matches. You got a company like Canon who is like not giving consumers time to breathe. I mean, they are dropping upon making announcements, and it's like they're saturating the market to basically say, hey, we don't want you guys to think about anybody else. You know, we want you to see what we're doing and what we're bringing you, so we can bring more people to what we're doing over here. And it's like, okay, you're going to give us all this time just to continue to capitalize on the market, to continue to saturate it. We're going to take advantage of it. And that's kind of what it sounds like Canon has basically done, have taken advantage of it. Like, nobody is like, everybody's sitting around like, where's Sony at? Like, what's Sony doing? So about this rumored event that's coming in mid to late November, I'm guessing, there's not a lot of information out there at all. I mean, they basically kept a lid on this one. But I will tell you, there is a lot of speculation about what Sony could possibly be coming out with, or what they're possibly going to announce. And I think when they do make this announcement, probably the launch will probably be later this year or early next year. Now, I'm not going to say too much about this rumored event because I don't know a lot of it, but currently what I do know so far is that we are supposed to be getting a full frame camera, all right, and possibly a lens. Okay, I could not tell you at all what this lens could possibly be. I was hoping for an 85-1.2. They didn't drop that, but I don't know. We just have to wait. I don't have any information on the lens. But as far as the camera goes, there has been a lot of rumors and a lot of ideas about which camera are they going to give us. Now, as an avid Sony creator, there are a few cameras that I have an idea about. So I'm going to pitch it to you guys, and you guys tell me in the comments, what do you think Sony is about to drop? I want you guys to tell me what do you feel is coming, and what do you want to see actually come? What do you want to see first? And again, this is all rumors. This is all speculation. All right. So I'm not going to, none of this could even possibly be true, but I kind of just want to give you guys my 2 cents on, as one of the Sony creators on YouTube. I want to give you my 2 cents on about what I think is about to happen. So I narrowed it down to about 4 cameras. All right. And then we'll go from there. The first one that I think might come is the Sony A7S IV. Again, the Sony A7S IV. Not saying that it is, I'm just writing them out. So the Sony A7S IV, the FX3 Mark II, the Sony A1 Mark II, or the Sony A7V. Those are the 4 cameras that I could possibly think that is going to drop. Now, which ones would I prefer to see? I would prefer to see either the A1 Mark II or the A7S IV. All right. Not saying that I'm a big fan of the FX3. I've never really gotten into the FX3, but if we look at the timeline about these cameras, 3 of these cameras was announced in the same year. 3 of these cameras was announced in 2021, right? 2021. The A7S III is the only one that was announced in 2020. I have learned over my years of shooting Sony not to believe this is based off of timeline. I know Sony would love to stick to the timeline. I know they've tried, but it just never works out like that. I think this is more going to be based off of consumer requests versus Sony timeline. There has been many times where Sony was supposed to launch a certain camera during the timeline that, when the first iteration of it launched, but ultimately they just went another direction based on what they could do and consumer demand. I mean, take the A7S III, for example. It took them like 6 years or so for them to come out with that camera. So I don't look at timelines. Now, what camera would I like to see them talk about or launch soon? My choice is going to be either the A7S IV or the A1 Mark II. If I had to pick between both of those cameras, I am going to pick the A7S IV. I have the A1, and I know the A1 Mark II is going to be even more of a beast, but the A7S IV is something I am really, really ready for them to come out with, because I feel that our video-centric video cameras, our video-based cameras, are just getting demolished by what's out in the market today and what the other cameras are capable of. Like, competing with some of these other cameras on the market today, I know it's really hard. Like, I know the FX3 kind of like just got an update, like shutter angle and stuff like that. Like, they've been behind the power curve so much when it comes to video versus the other thing, like the other just bells and whistles and things that you get with these other cameras that are video first is just amazing. I mean, all the video tools, false color, but I really feel like our cameras in video really lack in a lot of those areas. So we have some of the best low light video cameras, right? But all of our cameras are really like true 4K, our video cameras. FX3, A7S3, even the ZVE1, like these are true 4K, not downsample or anything like that. I am hoping that when they come out with our next camera, it will be more megapixels, give you a nice, sharper, cleaner image. I am hoping that it does have that global shutter, because that global shutter is absolutely amazing. Okay, stop that warped, jiggly look. I'm also hoping for other video tools. False color has to be added. I absolutely love false color when I'm shooting log. Color correction and everything is the best using helping you expose for log. I absolutely love false color. None of our cameras have it. But one of the main reasons that I'm lobbying for the A7S3 is the uniformity. Uniformity is absolutely amazing to me. I have multiple full frame Sony cameras. All right, I got the Sony A1, I got the A7S3, I got the A7R5, A7 IV. Like, I have a lot of Sony cameras, and I've said this in one of my last videos. All of my cameras have similar bodies like these. They have very similar bodies. As you look at the top, very similar knobs, dials, custom buttons. All of these are pretty much similar. Even adding the A7S3 to this A7 IV, they all feel the same, and I can navigate all of these cameras just easily, just like that. But going from one camera to the next one is very fluid. It's easy. It comes natural because they're all similar, which is why I really never got into the FX3, because FX3, especially the external, not the internals, not the menu system and everything, but the externals, filling around the buttons, custom buttons here and things, it feels totally different than what I have. And I just could not get in the rhythm of going from like the A7S or this one to figuring out, okay, where's this button and stuff. Me personally, I just like uniformity. I like for all of my stuff to be the same. I just felt that the A7S3 was definitely a more versatile camera for video versus the FX3, with everything that you have on the outside and inside on it. The amount of custom buttons, like all of those things, it was just very, very easy to get to something quick, fast on the A7S3 versus the FX3. Internally, they're pretty much the exact same cameras with the few of the cinema added features, of course. So I mean, I love the viewfinder. I like a lot of different things. And again, the A7S3 I felt was more versatile because you can also use it for portraits, and you have that viewfinder and everything, and it actually takes really, really good portraits. I also would like to see us get like a 6K sensor. I mean, you can even go for 6K 60. I don't really need 8K. But all in all, I do feel in order for Sony to continue its dominance, to continue that versatility in its cameras, to continue that reliability, I think it needs to come out with something that's kind of like a shock and awe, because Canon is really lighting it up right now. So hopefully, when this announcement comes, we're going to know, the direction and where we're going. But I really do hope Sony knows what they're doing, because being quiet, I feel like they're losing people. I feel like a lot of people are just sitting and waiting, playing a sit and wait game. What we have, of course, is definitely enough for us right now. But in order to compete, I definitely think they need to come out with something that's gonna rival what's out in the market today. And just to cut it here a minute real quick, man, I want to take a minute to a big shout out to my clothing line. Boom, I am a dog with this camera, man. If you guys haven't taken a chance, man, go over to my website, www.brandoncolephotos.com, man. Check out the photography merch, man. I have a whole clothing line dedicated to photography. One of the things that I wanted to do, man, we're going to be coming out with more designs and more designs. Continue to pick up, man. Continue to support, man. I absolutely love it. But go over there and check out some of the things that I've came out with, man. These are all my designs. I designed all of these myself. So I really appreciate you guys if you go over there and check it out. Now I'm back to the video. So another thing that I've noticed when I talk to a lot of people is that they feel that Sony's cameras are kind of mimicking each other. It's like people feel like Sony is running out of ideas on the cameras they produce, and like one camera is stepping on top of the other one is not really a big difference in some of the things they do. I mean, take the A7C or A7C II, take the A7CR. You have all kind of resolution cameras out already and basic cameras like that, and they are only different by one or two things. So it's like it almost feels like they're kind of like recycling. So I'm really waiting for them to come out with something that's really going to rival what's out there right now. But right now we just have to wait and see what transpires in late November, if that's the case. And we will be hopefully walking around with big smiles on our faces, throwing all these thousands of dollars back out to Sony saying, hey, take my money, because we have something that is coming down the pipe. So let me know what you guys think about what is about to take place or transpire in the coming months. I'm really hoping for a big splash from our Sony counterparts there. But definitely let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Let's continue this conversation. Tell me what you guys are expecting to be launched. What are we going to be talking about in a few months? All right, are we going to be talking about the A7S IV? Are we going to be talking about the FX3 Mark II, A1 Mark II? There's a lot of people out there that has, you know, an idea of what's going on. So again, we're just going to have to sit and wait and figure out what we are doing. Let me know what you guys think about Sony. What do you think about the product announcement or lack thereof? Video cameras and how they're going to compare or compete with what's on the market today. All right, let's continue that conversation down in the comment section. I will try to get to those questions if you have them. Let me know what you guys think, man. This is your boy Brandon, aka the Kevin Hart Photography, and I appreciate you rocking with me, and I will see you in the next video. I holla. Peace.